Thank you for joining us. I am Omobolanle Adeshuyi. The World Bank Group President David Malpass says the bank is ready to support Nigeria in phasing out regressive fuel subsidies while increasing social assistance for the poor and vulnerable. He also stressed the need for a unified exchange rate in Nigeria, which would significantly improve the business-enabling environment in the country, attract foreign direct investment, and reduce inflation. Malpass said this when he met with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. President Malpass encouraged the decisive move towards exchange rate unification and stabilization by Nigeria, highlighting the economic benefit for the Nigerian people. President Malpass emphasized to Vice President Osinbajo that a unified exchange rate will significantly improve the business-enabling environment in Nigeria, attract foreign direct investment, and reduce inflation. He further stressed the importance of integrating climate and development, as well as the need for an enabling policy and regulatory environment alongside strengthened institutions in the energy sector. And the KEBBI Area Command of Nigeria Customs Service has arrested one suspect and also intercepted 824 jerrycans of petroleum motor spirit equivalent to 20,600 liters and other contrabands worth 61 million naira in August. A statement by the Command Public Relations Officer Nasiru Mananga said 389 wraps of cannabis sativa was also seized within the period under review. The statement also said the arrested suspect has been granted administrative bail. Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria says ending subsidy on premium motor spirit (PMS) will be extremely difficult because the federal government has no other option in light of the current economic realities. Its chairman, Olumide Adeosun, made this call at the just concluded Association of Energy Correspondents of Nigeria Strategic International Conference in Lagos. Adeosun, who was represented by the Chief Executive Officer, Clement Isong, said it would remain very difficult to win Nigerians off cheap PMS, also known as petrol. Moman called for massive investment by the government in various sectors, such as mass transportation, healthcare, and education to successfully dissuade Nigerians from petrol subsidy. He said the marketers were optimistic that the industry was headed in the right direction with the enactment of the Petroleum Industry Act 2021, which is an excellent piece of legislation. And the Debt Management Office, DMO, has decried Nigeria's growing debt profile, blaming it on low revenue generation and remittances, as well as annual deficit budget by the federal government. The Director General, DMO, Patience Oniha, on Thursday in Abuja, said the country had been indebted to the tune of 41.6 trillion naira as of March 2022, pointing out that borrowing would continue until the government addressed the issues concerning the personnel, overhead, and capital costs of the ministries, departments, and agencies. Oniha made this known in her presentation to the House of Representatives Committee on Finance at the hearing on the proposed 2023-2025 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper. Oniha recalled that a recent World Bank report showed that Nigeria was low in terms of debt to gross domestic product ratio, but the country's debt service to revenue ratio remained high. And the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, LCCI, has said that without concrete and quick steps to stem the rising inflation in Nigeria, it may continue into the end of the year. A statement signed by the LCCI Director General, Chinyere Almona, said a major worry was that the inflation scourge was constraining production, causing job losses, and courting an imminent recession. In July 2022, Nigerians paid more for goods and services as inflation increased to a 17-year high of 19.64%. The LCCI has consistently recommended the need for special interventions in critical sectors and especially focusing on subsidizing production to reduce the burden of rising cost of production. LCCI therefore urged the CBN to look beyond hiking rates to take definite and articulated actions that address the factors driving the inflationary pressures. And Nigeria spent at least 155 billion naira within the last 2 years on the importation of salt and other locally available products from Asia and South America, even as domestic industries struggle with high production costs. This is as the country allocated about 198 billion naira within the same period for the development of natural resources, including salt. According to the Foreign Trade Statistics report by the National Bureau of Statistics, Nigeria spent the sum of 155 billion naira to import salt, palm, and coals. Another report by the Federation Account Allocation Committee said the country earmarked 198 billion naira for the purpose of developing natural resources in the country. Checks on the different quarters of foreign trade statistics of the NBS showed that Nigeria imported palm oil majorly from China and Indonesia, while crude salt was imported from Brazil. And the Executive Director, Nigeria Export Promotion Council, NEPC, Ezra Yakusak, has estimated Nigeria's non-oil export between January and June 2022 at about 2.5 billion naira, an increase of about 60% in the last 4 years. Yakusak told members of the House of Representatives Committee on Finance that about 200 different products involving 479 companies were exported from the country within the period from 16 different exit points. He said the agency remitted about 121 million naira to the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the government in the 2021 financial year, as against the 67 million naira in the records of the Accountant General of the Federation. There was, however, no disagreement between the committee and the executive director over the status of the 3.5 billion naira grant the agency received from the government for its operations. While the agency said the money was meant for its operations in promoting export of Nigerian products, members of the committee insisted that the money formed part of its internally generated revenue, which should have been remitted to the CRF. The United States has launched a $48.8 million investment in Nigeria's education. The investment, which is through the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, tagged, quote, leveraging education assistance resources in Nigeria, learn, read activity, was aimed at improving early grade reading in the country over the next 5 years. The $48.8 million U.S. Mission Nigeria investment in education will provide a better future to millions of Nigerian children and help lead to thriving, prosperous communities throughout Nigeria. The Supervisory Program Office Director, USAID Nigeria, Stephen Menard, had said at the launch that, quote, the new USAID activity will ensure that school-age children and youth in Nigeria are able to gain foundational skills such as literacy, numeracy safely, while building critical social and emotional skills to progress to higher levels of education, training, and employment. We'll take a commercial break now. When we come back, we'll bring you news from the African scene and the foreign scene. Please stay with us.